So what you'll get today is the process in order to list your home, things that you can do to improve the value of your home. I've invited a few of my friends here actually, and they come with a ton of resources for you guys, so that way you guys can have the ultimate seller's experience. So let's get into things. Listing your home. The ultimate rule is you should choose your agent wisely. Who should your agent be? Hi, me. Okay, why should you choose your agent wisely? You should choose your agent wisely to ensure that you're getting the maximum value for your home. You should choose your agent wisely to make sure that they have the skills necessary to get you the best deal. Here are a few things that I have outlined that I think are important for you as you choose your agent. Number one, a CMA. A CMA is a comparative market analysis. Your agent needs to be experienced. What this CMA is going to do is give comps in the area for your property. You know, we want to be sure not to price it too high. If we price it too high, then we may discourage some buyers. You know, if we price it just right with this market, it's still very competitive. It's still a seller's market, which means that there is more buyers than inventory being produced. Contracts, this is a big one. Your agent needs to understand contracts, okay? Quick story. I had a listing a few months ago, and in the wood inspection clause, it stated that if the detached property was more than 3 feet away from the home, the seller was not obligated to make sure that it was remedied. So the buyer's inspection report found some carpenter bees and some termites in the shed. So I was able to I was able to save my seller money on that repair because I understood what that clause in the contract means. So that's very, very important. Also, having knowledge of future developments and what's happening is very crucial to, you know, you ensuring that your agent is experienced. So for instance, investors, there are homes that you would flip and there are homes that you should not flip. For instance, 21239, the Northwood community, that is a hot zip code. You know, there's a lot of redevelopment in that area. Morgan has recently did a ton of development there, which in turn will increase the property value. Also 21215, we all know what the Pimlico, that is another hot area to invest in. So just making sure that, you know, your agent is experienced is going to be key for you getting your home sold. A few tips to get your home sold. Number one, you want to secure your agent. Discuss commission. You want to discuss typical fees that are associated. Different counties have different taxes, but that's something that is important because you don't want to be shocked at the end with fees and you're like, okay, what is this? So, you know, having an agent that understands the fees, taxes associated with transactions is crucial. So this is more, I will recommend if your home is older for you to have it inspected. Reason being, certain buyers may have certain financing. For instance, if a buyer has the FHA financing and you have a bad roof on there but you didn't get it inspected, then you don't want to wait until you're under contract and you have to get it inspected. You kind of want to prepare for any repairs that may be necessary for the sale of the home. And thankfully we have Nick here today from Legacy Title to go through all of that with you. Next, you want to obtain a professional cleaner. You you want to make sure that the home is livable. When a buyer walks into the home, the buyer needs to see that, hey, I can live here, you know. So that's really important. Another thing that I always recommend for my sellers is to hire a stager. A stager is very important. We have Pam here from Rural Interior Design, and she's going to talk to you guys more about staging. But as I said, you know, when a buyer walks into the home, the buyer needs to be able to see, oh, I can live here, you know, I can put my furniture here, you know, it needs to feel home-like. So hiring a stager is important. Another point that I forgot to put on here, which is very important, hiring a professional photographer. If you hire a professional photographer, chances are you're gonna get more visits to the property. You know, as a realtor, and when I'm representing buyers and they give me certain criteria and I'm looking, you know, on Bright MLS and I'm like seeing pictures that aren't professional, it doesn't catch my eye, you know, like you want the property to catch the eye of the realtor as well as the buyers, you know, so obtaining professional photography is a must. And we have Austin from YRN that does phenomenal photography. That is my go-to guy. So next, we are going to keep it going, and we're going to go into Mr. Greg Lewis from Fairway Independent Mortgage. He is awesome. I love his energy. He's such a gentleman. And yeah, so I'm going to give the floor to him. So Greg, come on up.
Awesome. Put my slides on. Get the show rocking. Awesome sauce. Hey everyone, my name is Greg Lewis, loan officer of Fairway Mortgages. I'm what you call a lender, mortgage loan officer. You can just call me the money guy if you choose. So my role in Selling Summer is for our folks that are selling with the intent to buy another house. I actually love working with repeat buyers because it's usually a lot more easy than first-time buyers. You all actually know what you want. There's a direct and clear path to getting what you want. All right, so just like the first-time buyer or any other buyer, I should say, there's going to be 4 types of mortgage options that's going to be available to you. Number 1 is conventional mortgage, number 2 is FHA, number 3 is called a USDA mortgage, and number 4, lastly, is called a VA loan. As repeat buyers, most of you all are familiar with at least a couple of these programs. All right, FHA and conventional loans, they're going to be your more popular loan, and really probably the two that's going to be stands out and be applicable to anybody. What separates conventional mortgage and the FHA is really the biggest thing is your credit score. FHA, it's not credit score driven, it's government affiliated. You only need a 580 credit score for this loan. Conventional, this is almost the opposite of FHA. It's totally credit score driven. It's not government affiliated. So in all actuality, it's preferred that you have a 680 credit score to even have a shot at this loan. All right, and then lastly, if you are planning to buy another house and you do have VA benefits, the VA loan will be perfect for your criteria. You only have to serve in one of the major veteran branches, right? And if you already have a VA loan on your current house, you just have to sell it, and we're able to use that VA benefit for your next house. All right, and then lastly, USDA loan. This is a very specific loan, but you're still able to get it if you can find a house in what's called a USDA qualified area. Now, you may ask what that is. USDA qualified areas are usually your rural counties, your rural neighborhoods. If you've ever seen a large piece of land with one house all the way in the back, that's usually a USDA house. Qualifying for a mortgage. These are the 6 criteria. Before you sell your house, I would recommend starting the pre-approval process right before you sell that house. It's important that we lay out a path so we know exactly what you qualify for. I don't like surprises, so I would want to make sure that my numbers are right, that you have a plan before you list your current house. So again, we know what we're doing here. I look at income, the debts, your credit, your employment history, and that's usually the 4 things. That's going to allow me to say, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, this is what you qualify for, and you have to be okay with that before you list your house. I don't want to get too much in the weeds about numbers and things like that. I know down payment assistance is very important. It's usually prevalent for even repeat buyers. There are programs out there that will allow even repeat buyers to get assistance. It's just a matter of making sure that home is sold before you close on the next house. Especially in Maryland, there's a program called Maryland Mortgage Program. There's a program called Should Know a Fund that will give you a good amount of money towards your next purchase, even as a repeat buyer. I know Sakir, she wanted me to talk a little bit about what a 203K loan, what that looks like. At Fairway, we offer FHA renovations, aka your 203K, as well as conventional renovations, which is called your home style loan. Both are a really great resource to take advantage of. 203Ks, you only have to have a 640 credit score to take advantage of that. Conventional, you need at least a 680 preferred for that home style renovation loan. How I used to kind of set out, just to get an illustration of what that looks like, regardless if it's FHA or conventional. You have your retail price. Let's just say you buy a house for $150,000. All right. Your bid, aka your actual renovation budget, let's just say it's $50,000. All right. For our renovations, you're going to have what's called a contingency fee. This is usually 15% of that renovation cost. So you take that $50,000, and that 15% of that is about $7,500. All right. Then you add on what we call soft costs. This is permit fees, architectural fees, sometimes even licensing fees for your contractor. That could easily be another $3,000. So how we come up with the budget is, let's just say your plan and comfortability was in terms of mortgage payments, you stay under $250,000. You add that retail price of $150,000, the $50,000 renovation, the $7,500 contingency fee plus the $3,000. We're under budget, and we're good to go. The biggest part of renovation is knowing what you want and being decisive. When you get out there looking at homes, I always advise that, along with Sakir, that you actually take a contractor with you. So we're not guessing at renovation, and I'm actually able to provide accurate estimates as opposed to just putting an offer on the house. And that's all I really have. This is excellent. So I'm actually going to pass it on to our next speaker.
Hello, how are you guys today? My name is Natoya. I am a hard money broker. So I only deal with hard money clients. My company's name is Walters LLC, and again, we only deal with hard money. So Zakia asked me to talk a little bit more about hard money and how you can obtain hard money and the difference between hard money and traditional lending. So first, let me start off with saying I only deal with investor clients. So if you're looking for a loan for your primary residence, that is not something that we do. We only work with investors, so it has to be a secondary loan. So a rental, fix and flip, those are the type of properties that we work with. So it can't be your primary residence. Hard money really is for your business. So if you have like a rental business or you're fixing and flipping, so you're getting into real estate, the loan itself will be made to your business, not yourself. You'll be a guarantor on the loan, but the loan is for your business. So with that being said, we negate things like debt to income ratio. We really don't care about your credit. So I have lenders that will go as low as a 450 on the credit score. Of course, if you're a 450, your interest rate will be higher. But debt to income ratio, your credit score, those are the things that we don't really look at. But what we will look at is how much cash you have. Down payments for a first-time new average investor, you're looking at 20% down, plus you pay your closing costs. So that's what you're looking for. So if you are interested in a hard money loan, you want to just make sure you have at least 20% of your total loan amount reserved. That's how much you're going to look for. We will cover a percentage of the purchase price, so up to 80% of the purchase price and 100% of the rehab costs. So that's all it's a good thing. The rehab is normally done in draws, so it's put into an escrow account. You start the renovation and then you request draws from the company, and that's how you complete your renovation. So that's pretty much hard money summed up. We do hard money, private money, we do fix and flip loans, buy and hold, so rentals for 30 years plus, 15 to 30 years plus. Your fix and flips can be 12 months to 24 months. Bridge loans, what else? So we do commercial properties, multifamily properties, mixed use properties, and I even do international funding as well for hard money. So that's pretty much hard money summed up. How you would start the process, again, you just want to make sure that you have at least 20% of the total loan amount. That means purchase price and rehab to come to closing with. And you have the property that you want to purchase under contract, or if you're doing a refinance, we do that as well. We can do a cash out refinance on your property as well. If you're doing a fix and flip, one thing I always stress to my investors is make sure you have a reliable contractor, very reliable contractor, because I'll tell you, that is the biggest thing with investors, that they think they have a reliable contractor. You have 12 months to finish it. We give you 12 months to finish it. If you go longer, you can file for an extension, but it's going to cost you more money. And that's really how most investors get caught up losing money, is because their contractor isn't reliable or they didn't, price the deal out properly. So that's really how you get started. Again, the difference between hard money and traditional. Hard money is for your business. Traditional, they go into debt to income ratio. They really look into your credit. We don't do that on the hard money side. And that's pretty much it. Now, with the interest rate being as it is right now, for 30-year loans, you're looking about 6 to 6.5 on a 30-year if your credit score is above a 620. Fix and flip loans, we're doing anywhere from 8 to 11%. Depending on your experience, the property, what state the property is in, and your credit score is low. If your credit score is low, you're at 12.99%, 13% up and up for whichever you want to do, 30-year or a fixed and flip loan. Normally, if your credit score is below that 620, the max loan term you'll get will be about 2 years. That's pretty much it, and that sums it out. So. Believe my contact information is somewhere on the slide, or it'll be posted, but you can follow me at she's_buyingblocks on Instagram, or you can email me at homewithtoy@gmail.com, or you might have any other email address from me.
thank you so much, Ms. Hoya, for that very helpful information in regards to hard money. It's very hard to obtain. Like, it's not a lot of people that, it's just not as common to find as a traditional lender. Are there any reasons that you think that is the case?
I am not sure. I don't have a shortage of clients, but
Okay, that's good.
I don't think people understand, or it has a negative connotation around hard money.
Okay.
A lot of people think that it's too expensive, or we're just trying to take the property away from you, which isn't the case at all. The industry is unregulated per se, so we don't have to go through certain licensing. In certain states, some states we still have some regulations like New Jersey and Pennsylvania. But yeah, it's really, it can be difficult, but there's a lot of hard money and private money lenders out there. And a lot of my referrals, come from loan officers who can't close the loan, so they kind of roll it over to me to go ahead and get that deal closed.
Amazing. Thank you so much for all that helpful information. This was Latoya. Next, we're going to have Ralph Borges come in. So, thank you. How you doing? I'm Zakia. We're actually recording live, so do you want to? No, you're fine. But I'm just wanted to offer you a drink or a snack if you want it.
No, I need to talk to you. I'm invested.
Okay, sure. Latoya.
Oh, no.
All right, guys, we have Ralph Borges here from Hawkeye Home Inspections. Take it over.
All right, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Ralph Borges, Hawkeye Home Inspections. Just a little about me. I've been a home inspector for about 10 years now, a little over 10 years. Been in construction most of my life. Started working in the trades in New Jersey as a union carpenter, so I did a lot of commercial building type work, a lot of residential building type work as well. So really had a full gamut of the whole industry at this point. I primarily service the Maryland area, so we do a lot of work in Baltimore City, so a lot of row homes, a lot of townhomes, things like that. But we also do larger, more luxury real estate, as well as homes throughout the counties. So a little bit about what a home inspection is, first of all, for those of you who don't know. Number one, a home inspection is not required by law, by your real estate agent, by anyone for the most part. This is something that buyers and sellers choose to do to help them learn their house, which is my biggest saying. Learn your house, learn about your property, learn about the way your property works, learn about your house. The main thing as sellers go, what we want to do is come in and just assess the whole property. So my typical process is we'll start on the exterior of the house, we'll look at your grading, we'll look at your foundation from the outside. We'll fly our drone up and get a good aerial shot of the property, as well as take a close-up look at the roof, a look at the chimney, make sure there's no damage, and also assess how much time you have left on that roof. As sellers, you guys are required to disclose anything you may know about the property. You have to let that be known to your real estate agent, to the buyer. So if there's anything major, if you know of any major leaks or mold, foundation damage, whatever the case may be, you do have to let the buyers know about that. So as an inspector, when we come in and we take a look at your roof and your whole property from an exterior approach, we want to make sure that everything looks good. Because people are coming to see the house. They're going to see those, they're going to drive by, people are going to see your for sale sign, they're going to want to make sure that the property looks good. So with that, very simple maintenance items that we want to make sure we're taking care of. Cleaning your gutters. Cleaning your gutters costs you about $150 to get that done. Get the gutters cleaned out. It's one of the things that we, when we're inspectors, come and we're going to look at. One of the first things. As cheap as that is to do, that can cause some major foundation damage. If anybody has watched any of my reels or videos, you see that a lot of the things that we put in our inspection reports are due to minor items like your gutters overflowing and causing water around your foundation. So that's one thing that we'll address when we're out there. Number two, on the exterior, is we're going to take a look at all your downspouts and make sure they're extending away from the property. That's a very simple item that any home inspector or anybody coming in to buy a house is going to look at. Moisture intrusion. They're always concerned about basement having water come in, any issues that may be with the foundation due to water penetration coming in, and it's as simple as addressing those minor items that may mitigate someone from finding that, right? So you want to list your house for a certain amount of money. The last thing you want is for an inspector like myself to come in for the buyers and find a laundry list of minor items that you could have addressed prior to listing and gotten top dollar, and now you're stuck negotiating a price to make those repairs. So by us coming in and taking a look at some of those minor things on the outside, first of all, we're going to be able to say, okay, look, from the outside, it's got great curb appeal, the gutters are clean, the grading of the property looks good, and we're going to take a look at all those items for you as well. My biggest thing is ivy growth and that vegetation that you see around the house. I recently posted the other day going through a house for a buyer, and the ivy was actually coming through the windows and coming through the walls into the attic and growing in the attic. That's something that a little Roundup could have taken care of for you a week prior to listing the house. We come inside the house, we're going to start upstairs. We're going to start at the top, run the sinks, the tubs, the showers, everything at once to test your water pressure to ensure there's no active leaks or anything like that in the property. With that, we're going to follow basically downstairs. We're going to go all the way to your basement. We're going to check all your waste lines, all your plumbing to make sure no water or anything is coming through and that there are no active leaks. The last thing you want as a seller is for a buyer to walk into the house during a showing and see any moisture damage or anything like that in the walls or the ceilings. So just by addressing any of those little items in advance, we could stop the leak and we can repair maybe any damaged drywall or any ceilings to help you get top dollar. Finally, when we go down into your basement where most of your appliances are, and that's kind of the bread and butter of the whole entire home, we're going to look at your furnace, your water heater, your heating, your cooling, your electric. And I say electric, I mean that's a whole separate thing. Coming into a house, you want to make sure it's safe for your family. That's really my goal. I'm the father of 4 kids, and me looking at any house I go into, I pretend it's my kids that are going to live there. So the electric is something that I take very seriously. In fact, if I see an issue with an electrical panel or any electrical issues throughout the house, I'm going to give my electrician a call or anybody that I work with to help me address any of those issues, to provide you with some good information about how to make any repairs on that, as well as how much it's going to cost. I say that because any home inspector coming in for that buyer's agent is going to take a look at that electrical panel. They're going to pull that cover off. Today, I found an issue with the panel for an illegal tap where they tap the electric before the main coming into the house. You can't do that. It's a major fire hazard, it's illegal, it's a safety issue. So me finding that today, had you addressed that in advance, probably would have cost you about $200 to repair as a seller. But now what's happening is this buyer that I found that is going to have to go back and try and negotiate and say, okay, who's going to take care of this repair? How much is it going to cost? Is the buyer going to walk away from the deal now? Because you never really know what is going to scare a buyer away from a home. I've seen buyers walk away from houses because we found mouse poop underneath the toilet or underneath the bathtub. I've had buyers not walk away when a whole foundation was pretty much cracked in half. So it really depends on their mentality and what they're looking for. So us coming in to do a pre-listing inspection is really important because we're going to pinpoint all of that low-hanging fruit for you, and we're going to say, all right, let's address these top 20 issues right now. We can come in as, refer handymen to come in. As a home inspector, you're not held to the same standards as you are when you represent the buyer, meaning that we can actually come in and help with some of that maintenance. We can help direct some of those contractors. We're going to know your house better than anyone, even you, more than likely, by the time we're done. So at that point, we can facilitate maintaining the property for you to make sure anybody who comes in is going to say, oh my gosh, this house is so well maintained, we don't have any issues, there's no hidden surprises, which means you know you're going to take your $500,000 that you listed the house for and get your $500,000, if not more, rather than say, oh crap, we got to refund the buyer 50 grand now to make these repairs. Oh crap, we got to find a roofer or a plumber. You're going to know all that. It's going to give you peace of mind and you're going to get top dollar for the house. As a buyer, we represent buyers primarily. And the reason for that is more than likely, I think most buyers feel like it's almost a requirement to have an inspection. It's not, like I said, but it is the most important thing you'll ever do. I said when I started talking, learn your house. Even if it's a new construction home, do you know where your main gas meter is, your main gas shutoff, your water shutoff valve, how to turn off your hose bib, what size your air filter is, what a GFCI receptacle is? Do you have a moisture meter or drone to check out the roof? No, more than likely you don't know any of those things. So us coming in, we're going to address all those items. We're going to put them in a report for you, so you can take a look and say, all right, these are the items we need to address immediately, and we're going to classify it just like that as serious concerns, moderate concerns, and minor concerns. You're going to know all those things coming in. So a home inspection is not just to say, here's what's wrong. We're also going to tell you, here's what's right, here's how to maintain the house, and here's what you can do to make sure it's safe for you and your family. Since this is primarily about sellers, this seminar, I think a lot of it too comes down to doing the right thing. You're selling your house, you're going to want to go through it. You don't want to sell your home that you've been living in maybe for 30, 40 years to a new family when you know there's a bunch of stuff wrong with it, and they're going to come in and they're going to inherit a mess. So when I say do the right thing, I mean to do a pre-listing inspection, we maybe charge $250, $300 to come in, take a look. It doesn't take too long. We can, like I said, grab that low-hanging fruit. I personally been doing this for 10 years. Other inspector that works for me, Eric Washington, he's been doing this for a long time as well. We can kind of address those problems and find them right away. Very quickly, we do it every day. So it's money well spent. It's money that you're going to get back in your pocket as a seller. As a buyer, you're going to learn your house, you're going to know what to do, you're going to know how to operate it, and you're going to know how to maintain it, so that if and when you eventually want to sell your home, it's going to be in working order. You're going to know everything about it. You're going to be able to disclose anything and everything. You're going to be able to say, my roof is 15 years old. You're going to say, I replace my air filter every single month because Inspector Ralph told me to. No, just because you know that that is the right thing to do. So just a little bit of facts about some home inspections, pre-listing, and buyers. So any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. My cell phone number, call, text, 410-430-0490, or just follow me on Instagram or any other platform. Inspector Ralph, Hawkeye Home Inspections, and we're also at Hawk Inspect. We put a lot of good tips out there for you as well that are free, so check it out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ralph.
Yeah, sure.
You did amazing. Guys, make sure you use Hawkeye Home Inspections,
And I
okay?
forgot mine's phone.
Yeah. He's going to get the job done for you. So next, we have Pam of RULE Interior Design. She does a phenomenal job at interior decorating. I wish you guys could see this office because she really did her thing. So now I'm going to introduce Pam. Come on up, Pam Johnson.
Hola, I am Pamela with Rule, Recreating Your Ultimate Lifestyle Environment. A lot of people look at staging as just one extra complicated added thing that they need to do before they sell their property. Little do they know that 73% of properties are sold more effectively when they're staged. So we encourage you to stage your properties, make people feel a part of the home buying experience. Let them see how they fit into that property. Let them see how their families can grow, what that property can become. It's so important and imperative. Nobody wants to feel like they're not a part. So I encourage you to stage your properties. If you are a home buyer, most people feel like because someone took the extra time to stage that property and make them feel a part, they are willing to actually offer you more money for that property because they can now see I gotta time out. They can see where they fit into that space. encourage all realtors to let their seller or their buyer to get their property staged. You can contact me, then we're going to consult, and then we'll confirm what you need in that space. Some people are already living in an occupied space, and you may just need to declutter so that someone can feel like they're a part of it. You may have to take down your family portraits. You may have to just take some things out of your kitchen so that they can be able to see themselves cooking in there, feeling it out, and knowing that they can also too make that their home.
Absolutely.
The starting price typically for staging starts at $1750. And then for upscale experience, it starts at $2,400. Then we have our Luxe experience, which starts at $3,200. And those packages come just complete with everything that property may need. Some might like a minimalistic look, some might like it a little bit more glam, some might like it where you can just fill out what that property can become. So with that, we have everything that you need in these packages. Each home is different, so we like to bring it to you as what you need. Not only do I stage properties that are to be sold. I don't care if the property is vacant. I don't care if it's occupied. I don't care if it's a virtual situation that you just need someone to set it up for you. I'm with that. I can do Airbnbs. I'm also a personal shopper. You may already have a space that is pretty much together, but you just need that extra little pop to it. I am your person that you can contact, and I'm willing to make that job come to life for you. Also, I do showing with the stages. If you're a realtor and the property is out of sight, out of mind, and you have so many other intricate details that may need to be shown, I'm also available for you to have like an assistant that can also point out those things that those different properties have to offer. The rule experience for me, when we're recreating these ultimate lifestyle environments, it is my priority to hand that to you top service. It is served with a gold standard, and I live by that. It is also a goal of mine to make sure that each and every property stands apart. The only way that you should know that I staged that property is because I said so. It shouldn't be just because, oh, I've used the same items. It shouldn't be because I use the same pictures. Each property should have its own experience. Everybody should be able to experience that property as their own. It's so important for me at Rule to have pops of color, pops of just things that you wouldn't expect. Rooms to be, you might think that one room should be a living room, and I might say it should be a dining room. In those type of environments, we need to open up the new person's imagination. Let them know that this property can be whatever you make it. If we want a piano in the front room and the living room to be towards the back, that's also an option. No, there's no limit. No limit. We're here to break the rule. I look forward to hearing from you all, whether you are a realtor, whether you are a selling agent, listing agent, whether you are a renter, a homeowner, whether you are selling your property and you're going on to new and better things, or if you are an investor. I look forward to hearing from you. There's so many opportunities with staging. And once you are the homeowner, please feel free to contact me for your home interior needs. Like I said, I'm also a personal shopper. Once you get in there, you may not know how you you may not know how you want that space. I can help you with that. So I look forward to hearing from you. Let's break some rules together and recreating an ultimate lifestyle experience. My contact information is Rule Lifestyle on Instagram and Facebook. I also can be reached at 443-255-0554. And my email is rulelifestyle1. Thank you at Gmail.
Thank you so much, Pam. That was
Thank you.
an awesome presentation. Thank you, Pam. I hope you guys was able to get some great information. Like I said, she's really dope. I wish you could really see this office. So next we have Nate Kish. He's actually my favorite guy. He's always there. One call away. So now I'm going to welcome Nate Kish of Legacy Settlement Services, and he's going to discuss the title company's role in the transaction. So Nate.
Thank you. Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Nate Kish with Legacy Settlement Services. We are a full-service title and escrow company based here in Baltimore. So we have an office in the Canton Square, downtown Baltimore. And we also have an office in Ellicott City. We're licensed in 6 different states. So that's Maryland, D.C., Virginia, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Florida. And we also have an office down in Florida in Sarasota and some other satellite offices around the DMV. So I think a big question that most people have is, what is title? So what exactly is title? So title is a few different things. The big thing your title company does is they take care of the legal transfer of property from the seller to the buyer. So we handle the transfer of the deed. We are taking basically the agreement of the contract and making sure that that agreement gets fulfilled. So the agreement is the buyer is going to pay the full amount of the contract, the full amount for the purchase price of the home, and in exchange they're going to get the title and the deed to the house, so from the seller. So that's one of our biggest responsibilities as a title company, is to handle all the legal aspects that go into the transaction. So throughout that transaction, if you have any questions that have to do with the survey, we can help your client to order a survey. You as a home buyer, help you to order the survey. All the money that gets exchanged during the contract, we are responsible for that. So your first initial deposit, your earnest money deposit, which is typically 1% of the purchase price, we collect that and we hold that. I know here at Realty One, sometimes they like to hold the earnest money deposit at the brokerage, which is common as well. So that's different from brokerage to brokerage and agent to agent. But we hold earnest money deposits. We also collect the final wire. So you will send in what's called your cash to close, is the wire that you send in. Your title company is the one who actually collects that wire. So we hold that wire, and then when the file closes, we redistribute the funds. So we pay the agents their checks for both sides of the table, the seller's agent and the listing agent. We pay both checks to them or to their brokerage. We pay off basically get a loan or a wire from a lender, and then we redistribute that back to a seller for the payoff of the home. So we send seller proceeds, and then we also hold money in escrow for water bills and taxes. So throughout that transaction, there's a lot of different questions that might come up about the legal transfer of the property, any money that gets exchanged. We handle those questions. We are the ones that actually conduct the closing. So when you go to closing, you go to settlement to sign the papers, we are the ones that schedule that with the seller, with the buyer, with the agents, with the lender. We coordinate all parties and get everybody in the same room. We also do split settlements if needed. So we have the seller will sign on one day and maybe a buyer signs the next day. But your title company is who actually conducts that closing. So we're walking you through what you're actually signing. The papers actually come from your lenders. They come from your loan officer. Those papers get sent to us. We combine some title documents with those, and then that's what we're actually signing that closing. But if you have any questions when you're signing them, you're talking to a title representative from your title company. The other big responsibility that your title company handles, again, we mentioned the survey. So if your agent goes to a property or you go to see your home that you put in an offer on and it gets accepted, and you say, well, something doesn't look right with this house. There's maybe a fence hanging over onto your edge of the property, or you don't know exactly where your property stops and your neighbor's property begins. And we can order a survey for you, and that surveyor will come out and they'll tell you exactly what is your property and what is your neighbor's property. Maybe there's a road that goes through your backyard and you just wonder how that is, who can access that road. That survey will help to show you exactly what the legal rule with that easement or that road is. So these are the main responsibilities of the title company, as I said. There's a lot of different title companies out there. We love working with Realty One for the professionalism that the agents have, for all the great personalities that they have, and just their ability to get the deal to the closing table. So a lot of contracts come in the door, but a lot of those contracts don't get to the closing table. So we really like working with Psychia and the ladies here at Realty One, gentlemen here at Realty One, because their deals get to the closing table and they get you in your house. So that's really a big part of it. So any other questions, anything else I can cover for you that you were wondering about? Good? All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Again, everyone, that was Nate with Legacy Settlement Services. So that concludes our Selling Summer, the Ultimate Sellers Experience. I hope you guys got a ton of information out of this, and with all this information, let's get your home listed and sold, okay? Does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right, so thank you guys for coming out. I truly appreciate it. You guys could have been anywhere in the world that you're here with me. Thank you. Have a good night.